Working your land will change anybody's life. There's a proverb that says, he who works his land will have abundance. But if you chase fantasies, you lack wisdom. And people say, well, what's your land? Your land is what's in front of you. If you're in the 7th grade, work your 7th grade land. If you're the cameraman, work your land. If you're a janitor, work your land. If you're a single mother, work your land. Your land is what's in front of you. So I started studying the law of the harvest, of working your land to get a harvest. You got to plow the ground. You got to plant the seed. You got to water the seed, and then you reap a harvest. And I think that mostly in the age of social media, people see guys like you and Gary Vee and others, and they think that they can go from bam to bam. It's not going to happen. You got to work your land. You got to plow, 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 plow. And you got to plant the right seeds. See, if we go back to your life, somewhere, somehow, you were planting some good seeds. And one time, and if I bring up Oprah once in a while because I love her, she's my real sister. We were just me and her in her backyard. And she goes, I love to work your land because she goes, it's right. I planted the right doggone seeds. See, every day you got negative seeds and positive seeds. And people that are selfish, man, you're just planting negative seeds that are not going to come back positive. So when you plow and you plant the right seeds and you water them, which is repetition, it doesn't look like it's going to grow. Come on, man. You're working at Taco Bell, making gorditas, taking care of the Chihuahua. Doesn't look like it's working. All of a sudden, man, payday is on its way. And that harvest just starts to kick.
Yeah, that concept of the seeds, like you've got a bag of seeds every day, and are you going to plant, good seeds? You're going to plant negative seeds. That's interesting. And I love what you're saying about water is repetition.
Repetition.
Once people understand that, to me, I think the whole game unlocks for them. That, and when I read about bamboo, I found that really interesting. So bamboo, plant a seed for 5 years, doesn't look like anything is happening, but it's developing this huge ball of roots under the ground. It takes 5 years. And then in something like 3 weeks, it'll grow 30 feet above the ground. It's crazy. But you have to have planted the seed, watered it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Knowing that this repetition will pay off.
Yeah, great illustration. Most people make big mistakes on a regular day. It's just a regular day. And now we got choices. The choice is a selection. I got a choice. And usually, when they mess it up, they made a couple bad choices. And the choice created a challenge, okay? So rather than just talking about their failure, the failure they already feel, the failure they already heard about, mostly if they're big and they're watching TV, it's all over the place. When I meet with guys sometimes for the first time, I'll never say a word about the failure and it'll trip them out. They go, Tim, when are we going to talk about the thing? And I go, you know about the thing. We're talking about other things right now, but it works. So the key then is to find out what state of mind and what state was our soul in when we made that choice. Because I'm trying to tell you, when a person's at peace, they're not usually making really silly choices. It's usually coming from a place that's not so peaceful. You gotta stop the noise, okay? You gotta look inside yourself, and then you have to listen. So let's just stop now. Just go into a place of meditation, and don't think about where you've been, where you were, what everybody's saying about you, but let's just go into a place of being grateful. And you love that word too. You got to go back to that place of being grateful. It's this idea of you may not be what you want to be, but thank God you're not what you used to be. And what I find is from that place of peace, okay, you can find a better place to help solve that dilemma that you're in. Because chaos will create more chaos if you're not careful. I think there's different things that people meditate on. To meditate is to mutter or to have your mind set to set your mind to mindset. So some people do spiritual meditation, some people think about nature, but whatever you meditate on, mindset, okay, is the whole being grateful. That does take you into a beautiful state, because then you start to remember that you're still living, you're still breathing, you're still alive. And then the second place I think that we should go is you need to begin to go beyond your situation. You need to think big in small places.
That's interesting.
So let's say you just found out your son has a really bad illness, and somebody's working through that. It'd be so easy to go singular. See, when somebody's sick, they usually go singular. I'm hurt, I'm in pain, you don't know what I've been through. You go singular. When you begin to think beyond, you go plural. So you go from being grateful to now thinking big in small places, and starting to be thankful and grateful that your son has doctors and there is a chance that he could be better, and start to see him better. And that's a technique I use on a daily basis on my clients. It's an amazing thing about the mindset, as you know, because I'm studying you too, is that it's so easy to be driving in LA and just think about traffic. When I'm in traffic, I think that I'm going to turn that situation into something really good. And I do, I promise. I listen to books on tape, okay? I have funny conversations with guys. Like, I'll call a guy and they'll go like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "You never just check in." Because I usually don't have that kind of time. But now I'm in traffic like for an hour and a half. So I'm just like joking with my buddies, seeing what they're up to. So that's a choice. That is a mind set, right? So I believe in having what I call a miracle mindset. A miracle is a supernatural event. It's extraordinary. It's beyond, okay? And I honestly believe this, that the more my mindset goes into a miracle mindset, you see this in the life of Ellen, you see it, let's talk shows for a minute. Ellen, Steve Harvey, Oprah, every one of them saw themselves there before they got there. So that mindset of the miracle mindset took them into where, first of all, they believed, then they expected. So when you begin to get a miracle mindset and you start meditating on what can happen, man, it's wild. What I saw, all is happening. I think that it goes into phases. The first place of meditation could be just a place of calming, of coming into a place of quiet, okay? Because our lives are so busy and there's so much disruption. So I think the first phase of meditation is I come into a place of quiet. And the second phase is I want to then start hearing myself. Your dream has a voice. And I start hearing my dream. Like, Tim, you're going to make movies. I knew that before. Then it was Quincy Jones later that said, Tim, you were made for this. This is what you're going to do, and I'm going to help you, which he did. But I go from a place of quiet, then a place of hearing, then a place of seeing. The visualization takes me out. So it's so important, again, not just to be inward, no matter what you're going through. Get quiet, let the dream speak, but then you got to think outward. Yeah. Even Oprah, she said that when she was struggling as a teenager, she used to constantly just see herself at that place.